How do you get your foot into big name institutions like the Smithsonian? So there's the usual advice, and this is what worked for me in an admittedly a very different time. I applied for the job through usajobs.gov. I did not know anybody who worked there. I was fresh out of grad school. I had a great resume and was very proactive in applying for jobs, and was very fortunate to get one at the Smithsonian straight out of the gate. And I did that through usajobs.gov because the Smithsonian is half federal. The other half is nonprofit. Work Your Network, which is the vanilla career networking advice that we get. Informational interviews, which can backfire, quite honestly, especially in our field, because everybody is so overworked. I myself, as a consultant, and during this year, I'm now getting 2 to 3 requests a day from people asking me to donate my time, my energy, my expertise, my intellectual property to help them. And as much as I do want to help you, I have to protect my time and value. And that's the same for our colleagues. We are all overworked and stressed out. And if you're asking somebody to provide you freely their time, attention, and energy, that may not be received well. And then the rest of that vanilla advice is volunteering, an internship, or term position, and those can all be problematic. The field has a major problem with depending on free labor, which is a whole other thing that I feel very strongly about, and we'll probably talk about more later. And that it's not, like, this is precarious labor, right? Nobody wants to be in a precarious or unpaid labor situation. So for several reasons, none of these are ideal or even really work for us anymore, which is why that's the usual advice. It worked for me, it worked for some people, but I have some better answers. So let's get into those. My advice, get your foot in the door with contract work, either by directly responding to RFPs, request for proposals, or by signing up with firms such as History Associates. So if you're in the DC area and you legit want to work at the Smithsonian Institution, there are permanent jobs there that you can apply to. But in my time there, saw many people, maybe 50% if I had to guess, who came through as a contractor and got paid very well because it was a contract position. And they either came through via History Associates, which does many contracts with the Smithsonian, where you can go and sign up with them to be a contractor for them, or you can apply directly. You don't need to go through History Associates. You actually get to keep more of that money too, so might be worth it. And go to the contract procurement website for federal jobs and respond to those requests for proposals. Another thing to think about is, instead of doing that informational interview ask and instead of volunteering your time freely, I have seen more effective approach become a donor, member, patron, whatever it is there, at any level. You could do the $25 student membership, for example, at one of the museums, or just like a $10 donor, to get on their email list, to get on their donor lists. And many of them, at least pre-COVID, and I think they're doing some online programming now, but they have events in person and they have staff at those events. And so become a member of the community this way and talk with these people as a member of that community this way, instead of doing that informational interview ask, and instead of volunteering your time and experience for free. And then, instead of asking them for their time and for them to provide you something with value, turn the tables. This will look different in many different ways, but how can you help them? How can you provide them something? And it doesn't have to be a lot. Just find a way to show that you do value their time and them speaking to you, and that will do quite a bit to grease the wheels, so to speak, to help network up with them.